Yeah, wait, so talking about this TikTok video. I want to play the video here so we could hear it over. And you could tell me what you get from this. And then I will tell you what the conversation was like with myself and the young lady.
Oh, you spoke to the young lady herself?
Well, in the comments, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right?
You have real time in outside this mean line.
The thing is,
I'm glad because you provide content doing it. So I'm glad. I shouldn't be angry.
I think TikTok is the video form of Twitter.
That's what it's become.
Yeah, that's what it's become.
Okay.
But the thing is, the thing is with TikTok had different sides. It had the dancing side where everybody was with them dancing trend, and it have all this overwork side now. Where that
but that didn't exist at first. So I mean,
probably not. Yeah,
it became that.
Yeah. Right, but it still have. They both exist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But never heard Joe Rogan talk about the libs of TikTok thing.
I never heard Joe Rogan talk about it, but I know what libs of TikTok is. Yeah.
So anyhow, let me see if the video play.
Reason number whatever why it's a whole lot better to do it yourself. During the pandemic, salaries cut, pressure on the job market. I said to my son's father, "Are you assisting this time with my son's school fees? What's going on?" He said to me, "Well, I don't have money to do with that right now." I said, "Okay, so what do we do? Because he's not going to be able to go to school." He said, "Put him in a public school." We did okay. In Standard 5 before SA. Imagine what my predicament would have been had I had to make that decision with his input. Do it, sis. Do it, sis. Do it, sis.
Right. So you heard it over there. And if it's pretty loud enough, right?
Yeah.
My response to her video was,
why it's a whole lot better to do it yourself.
No, if she said reason to choose a good mate or a good partner or good parent for your child, I would have been 100% down. I'm in no way trying to defame or pull along this lady's character. I don't know her from anywhere. And she's probably a pretty nice person. But the concept or the idea of parenting by yourself or having one parent or that is a good idea. I mean, obviously some people are forced into it, but I don't think is any good reason to be a single parent. I think you should always have both parents. Both parents in the home has statistically always worked out much better than being a single parent. So I don't think there could ever be a good reason. Unless, well, obviously, you don't want to stay in a toxic relationship, right? But check out our video and then comment on this one. But obviously, healthy parenting, healthy people, healthy relationships. That's what we want. There should never really be a good reason to do it by yourself. Sometimes you're forced to do it by yourself. The relationship, the work, or whatever the case may be. Cool. But you could always find somebody else. Because I think we should want to have homes with two parents, especially two good parents with good head now, boy. Right? But, and I was trying to tell her, my issue is this do it by yourself and this promoting this single motherhood. Because you help promote a single parent, hashtag, single parent, hashtag, single mother, hashtag, right? And, parroting this to other people who, it's because, there's a lot of young people on TikTok, you're parroting this to other people who might be influenced. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to change the world having these conversations or whatever the case may be. But I just putting some different perspective out there. And yeah, boy, session.
And let me guess, she wasn't appreciative of that.
Not at all. Not at all. And
you surprised?
No, that's not what surprised me. No, that's not what surprised me. Because I think I said that in the most
polite manner.
Polite and I kind of break it down now, but like I don't think it's that hard to understand. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh no, Naldo thought you could have a rational conversation.
But the thing about it is, right?
Oh God.
The thing about it is, You know, I think what will probably mash them up. I don't know I can't remember what TikToks I have posted, right? But she probably went to my social media. And you go onto my social media and realize how I go and come for him. Because he is living with his wife and his child. Well, one of his, right? And if you want to talk about the child that don't live with me, we have a pretty decent...
And she's an adult.
She's adult, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And we still have a pretty decent relationship. Me, the child and the child mother. You understand? Shit is work out how it need to work out, right? So, I don't know if probably that's why she just didn't have a proper way to come back because horse. So, it's our next video that she did to kind of come back.
I didn't think this would have been necessary to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, just based on some of the questions and comments and videos that I posted in response to my last post about doing it alone. It is obvious that if a child is in a home or is in a situation where they have two parents that are equally and equitably contributing toward their upbringing, they are going to be in a better situation. Obviously.
And she cannot put his face, obviously. And then, I think I need to play this one for you. This one here, go mash up.
Are you assisting this time with my son's school fees? What's going on?
Who knew that I just had to post a TikTok in order for me to get money before I sent a message? Hold them accountable, ladies.
So she's saying, who know that she had to post a TikTok in order to get money before I guess she messaged the man for money. And if you think you're a good parent, I was trying not to reach that point with this. But if you think that you're a great parent and one of the ways to get your child father to give you money is to come on TikTok and post a TikTok. Or I'm not say it like that because then you go try and tie it up. But if you think talking about your child issues on TikTok and the end result is beneficial to you because your child father gave you money from that and you think, well, that's a great thing to even come back and put here. I don't know. I give her boy though, boy.
But I mean, listen, when you send the video to me, I didn't understand it at first. I still don't understand it really. Because I mean, I don't understand. Like you, I would think, the what you're really saying isn't, well, this is why you should do it alone. It mean what you're really saying is, well, this is why sometimes we just have to do it alone, right? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's because, like you said, it's confusing when you seem to be promoting doing it, because that's what you sound like you're doing. You're saying you're promoting doing it alone. Well, what you really, if given the most generous understanding of what it is you're trying to say, what you're really trying to say is you're trying to show people, well, this is what the stress I have to go through, why I just essentially have to do it alone. That's not clear from what. So I was confused. I couldn't. I don't understand how this is a reason to do it alone. This is what you're trying to. What you're kind of displaying is this is the stress I just had to go through, and this is why I sometimes are just not bothered to deal with the man.
Right.
Which is still stupid because in the end you still ask the man for money. I'm not doing it alone. Doing it alone is saying no. Well, I done with you and I don't even want your money. You know
and they can still come to take money now.
Right. So you're not really doing it alone, right? But okay, I guess the general thing is, all right, this is kind of head you guys had to go through. Now I don't know the man's circumstance. I don't know what is the situation. I think putting up a man because the man may not have money I think that is a kind of dog shit thing to do. Now, if you know the man and the man does be flexing and he's buy rims for his car and he just buy 4 new tires for his Hilux and he's carrying next bird out, but then he can't bring money for his child. Well, all right. That's a different story. But not having is not something to put up a man for.
Oh, and go in court.
No, I mean, court will only give a minuscule amount. Court will never tell you, well, if it's...
but if you can't get money at all, right? Then go in court.
I think what she's trying to say is what she was looking for was the money for private school, and that is not something the court can get, right? The court is going to force no man to pay for private school. So what she's trying to say is that is what the standard she would set for her son, and you as the father are supposed to come and you're supposed to help him do that, right? Now, I not any people in them business. I not having no argument about whether private school makes sense or not. I think if you think private school is necessary, then I think there's something wrong with you. But that's my personal belief, right? And mean here to change your mind on that.
And any day, but then, which to her point, that the man is saying he don't have the money to facilitate the private school or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Now, as I say, if you putting up a man just because he has no money, because I don't know what the situation is. But again, because we don't know the whole story, and probably TikTok don't have enough time to say, well,
you could make a 3-minute video.
Okay, all right. Okay, fair enough. So it would have made your point more illustratively if you had said, well, listen, and this is a man who just last week he went jamishness, or he just spent XYZ on this and XY, and now I'm asking him for money for his son and he's breaks in. You understand what I'm saying? Then that would make your point, in a much better way. But to simply say, if the man say you don't want money, because I think she started by saying, COVID broken, COVID, people lost work and things, times hard. So that way go probably man for that is what's a good reason to do that, because he happens to be unemployed at this point in time. So I don't know. I felt it was stupid to begin with. I felt it was not a very good way to illustrate a point. Clearly, she feels, she's of some...
She have a podcast. And I say I would take it in now, boy. But then when she do the kind of response video to my video, which is the second video I played, I like, nah, dog.
You think it's just a man-hating podcast?
No, I think we can't meet on any kind of intellectual level. Because if you had difficulties understanding the first thing I said, right? The first point I was making, and then they come and respond that way, I was like... Nah, dog, I feel you're not going to meet on that level. And I am not trying to debate a real feelings thing with you. Now, if you come on to well, but I real bitter in the situation.
Well, and that's what, unfortunately, unfortunately, that is what goes behind these kinds of individuals. Yeah. She have man problems. She has had problems with the man she's dealing with, and instead of keeping her situation, instead of localizing it and keeping it, speaking about herself and her issues and her man, as you say, she's going around promoting doing it by herself. And because
she's saying ladies, and then she said ladies at the end, ladies.
Yeah, now
do you are
so you are now making this a gender wide thing, right? Which is, but when it comes to when people start like that, it's very hard to get them down from there to begin with, because they're so emotionally wedded to their feelings and their ideas surrounding the issue. That listen, I'm not trying to debate nobody, bro. I don't know why you just encourage them to listen. I have to know people very, very well, and know that they are. It's not about intelligence, it's just simply. Why are we talking? Are we talking because we want to come to a resolution? Are we trying to understand each other's perspective better? Or are you just seeking to vent?
Right.
Are you seeking to please an audience? Are you seeking to...
So I guess, so like for instance, one of her people came and commented on my video, right? And I just say, listen, I say, sorry, I don't entertain conversation with people like you, because you come charge up now, boy. And not because you can come and say, what do you mean by this? Or explain this a bit better. Or whatever the case may be. Or I disagree with this part of what you say. Or I disagree with this. And I think so. And we could have a conversation. But when they come at me, I was like, oh, you come in under this, I don't know what to call it. This she-warrior kind of vibe. Right? And it's like, yo, because I make sure and say when the video I put out, and if you want me to play it, I'll play it. I say, hey, listen, I don't know this woman from nowhere. I'm trying to defame or pull on her character in any way. That's what I say.
As polite, as respectful as possible. Simply providing a perspective.
Right. Our aim should be to have two-parent homes. Right? One way or the other. Right?
Yes.
So that is the point I was trying to get to.
Yes. But she want to... you see, now, this is the point I was making to you last week, or whenever it was, about Rondell Fields. This is the issue that I have. And this is why I was so upset with the way he phrased it. Because, like I said, when people have their own little personal things and they make, because you are saying that, and that's an argument that nobody can refute. And all you were simply saying that, okay, and even if you wanted to respond to you didn't have to be condescending. You could have said, well, because you could have said, oh yes, well, to be fair, I did sound like I was encouraging women to just do it on their own. What I mean is, if you have a waste man, then leave the waste man alone. Right. She could have simply said that, but that's not what, because, and the person who you say come for you, their argument is that they want to keep the argument on the waste man because that's who them bitter about. That is them was hurt by some waste man, and them want to make everything about, and all man is waste man, and so they want to keep the discussion on waste man or man in general. And it was the same thing I was making about Rondell Fields, because he is always dealing with in his not just his mind, but in practice, he's always dealing with these women who are denying fathers access to the children and vindictive and da-da-da. He lets that color that question that he was asked. Right. When in that situation, it kind of like the same thing. The obvious thing should be, hey, well, first of all, we should be telling men not to be absent from the child's life. You know what I mean? But because he's answering the question within his mind, those kinds of women in that's he's holding in his thoughts. He now says something that I think is, you didn't sound as intelligent as you could have sounded, and you open yourself up to really justifiable criticism now. Because people are like, what if? So we don't ask you about absent man, and you trying to turn it. Well, talk to the mothers. No, bro. So it's the same thing here. You are simply saying, hey, we should be striving for 2 parents home, and it seemed to me like you are encouraging women to raise children by themselves, which almost as if suggesting to them that, and to in some ways you could be encouraging women to not see the value of what men provide in a situation, because when you promote the idea that it should be done, you should do it by yourself, or it's almost like, so any little flaw he's showing, no, just forget he just
make them disposable. So because to the point, because remember she say, if you're in a home and the both parents can provide equally and equitably, right? So let me just say you happen to be a woman making more money than the man, right? And have a better job. But this man have a job where it requires him to work more hours than you. Let me just say he had to work a 12-hour shift and bringing home less money than you. So he could spend less time with the child, and he has less money to bring to the household. That mean get rid of that man? That man has no value.
Get rid of that man and do it by yourself. Which is talk, right? Which is tantamount to you being a right? Like just see it as real as it is. And to me, that is what you encourage when you from what I understood, what I gathered from what she said, or at least not from what she said, but it's the whole sentiment of doing it by yourself. That's what you're encouraging women to be like, you're encouraging women to not see the value of what a male parent could be playing simply because it's not up to your standard. Right? So, you don't like something he doing, or it's frustrating you, or just left him at the side and do it by yourself. Which is, as I say, tantamount to you promoting controlness, right? And that's all you were trying to put to them.
That's all.
But what they're trying to tell you is, no. We bringing the argument back to waste man, right? What did she say? What did she say in response? The person who responded to you.
No, she didn't respond at all. She didn't respond. After I say it, then
No. But you said when somebody posted on the video, a she warrior came after you.
Right, I was posted on my video.
Right. What she was saying?
She that is what you get from that, or some kind of thing like.
Right.
I was like, yo, I say, sorry, but people like you. I don't entertain conversation with people like you.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right.
Yeah, because first of all, that is what you get from, and put in caps now, boy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what the fuck she said. You know what she said? So she said, reason to do it by yourself.
And I was like, and that is my point. So I was like,
but that's exactly what I should get from that. And But I mean, listen, and the reality is that I don't know, like you say, I don't know this woman from anywhere. And I don't know if it's a genuine miscommunication. Because when I was talking to you last week about Rondell fees, you kept saying that to me too. That's what you got from what he said. And to me, it was plain. You know what I mean? Because again, it all comes down to how you put, if let me say how all her interactions with her fans were all them gathering around a bonfire and talking about Waste Man, then obviously they all know what they're talking about. But you don't know that. So you come from outside now and you see and it's like, but this woman seemed like she promoted single motherhood. What kind of dunceness is that? And they are all familiar with they're in their world. So when she is talking, they understand she's talking about Waste Man, right? And we all just come together and complain about we Waste Man together. And so that's what you get from that. Because I don't know about your.
And as I say, if we want to talk about parenting, so your child is not going to grow up at some point and probably see these TikToks about his or her father.
Her son.
Right. His father. Well, I mean, we don't know what it will be when it grows up. But
there could be something else tomorrow.
Yeah, right?
That's true.
Any parents be even like this, I think, Anyhow.
Yeah.
So the thing is, what about that? I mean, we just be talking about that right through.
No, but I don't think that was that bad. I think, I mean,
listen, I wouldn't want to put that information out on social media. If me and my child mother having little issues with finances or whatever the case may be with my child, why would I want to put out on something that could remain there forever?
I wouldn't either. But I that's not one of them things I think is beyond the pale. I don't because I mean sometimes you could be frustrated, and like I say, if it is this guy, as I say, not just a situation where he broken, but is that he's a waste man, and you might want to embarrass him.
But how frustrated it could be, because talking about that was during the pandemic, right? And the child was in standard 5, so that had to be at least a year ago.
Oh, okay. Well, true. So maybe she doing it for clout is what you're saying. Maybe, yes. Right.
And the cheer on her little single mother team.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Wait, it's called, excuse me. There's a term I'm trying to, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember now, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Is that the greatest form of parenting it have out?
Well, I don't know if that's the greatest form of parenting, but is it the greatest form? Is it the best person you can be in general? Because a lot of these things just feed in narcissism, it's just narcissism, and like I said before, you just have to realize, and I was thinking, I was trying to explain this to somebody the other day, a partner of mine, and it just kept going over his head. I find that happening to me a lot these days, but I'm not trying to feel like I'm crazy. But I was trying to get, because we were talking about climate change at the time now, and I was trying to tell him that one of the biggest problems we have in our society today is that we let people who don't want to solve the problem dominate the conversation, right? We think they want to solve the problem, or we pretend that we believe they want to solve the problem. So we let them talk the loudest, and they distract from the people who want to solve the problem. I'm not going to go into climate change, how it's relevant to climate change, but I'll give you a general example. We quarrel a lot about gender relations, right? About imbalances in how the genders relate to them, to each other and so on. And there's there are emotions involved in that. There's a lot of pent up rage, could be bitterness, so on and so forth. But if people came to the table with the actual objective of amicably resolving the situation, then you would have no issue. But what happens is people come to the table, they don't want to find a solution. They're not actually looking for equitable.
But would you say they come into the table though?
Yes. Well, they pretend to come to the table, or they come to our table because they put their voices out there to be heard, right? They comment on what they believe to be problems, and they put forward what they call solutions. So they pretend to be trying to find a resolution, and we listen to them. So, you can find them on both sides. It would be the extreme radical feminists. If you listen to them for 2 seconds, you can't really believe they want to find solutions. They're not trying to bring about equity between the genders. They are trying to enact vengeance for harms they felt they or their their sisters in spirit or whatever experienced in the past. And so that's why, because when they talk about equity, but do they seem to care when you mention areas in which men are falling back? No, they don't. In fact, they almost look at you with scorn, like, what are you bringing that up for? Because fairness is that's not what they're looking for. They're not looking for justice. They're looking to be dominant. They want to turn the tables. And they would cry bully, they pretend to be victims and use that victimhood status to now bully other people. And then they have on the other side, they have the men who are pretending to be, wanting to bring men's issues to the fore because men are kind of underrepresented in today's society. Everything is about the women and so on and so forth. They're pretending that that's what they want. But what they're really trying to work out is them issues with women who horn them and who might have been vindictive towards them or they can't get birds. So they want to now, kind of bring all that negative energy to the conversation and shout loud and they overtake the conversation while people who listen, all right, I want to find solutions. I want us as, members of different genders to work it out. What are your grievances? I understand this. I understand that. I ain't seeing you here. I ain't feeling it. I feel you're going too far here. And then you're like, okay, but so then what you have to say? And then I say that. And then so when I point out, when you trying to draw attention to women's issues or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's a legitimate one. Yeah, I think that's a legitimate. I think that one there.
Yeah.
But boys are falling back in school. What are you going to do? Yeah, that's a problem. How are we going to do that? How are we going to bring our boys back? Because we don't want to have an imbalance. What sort of society are we going to have if all the women have all the women have all the
education,
academic qualifications and so on, and the men in a knowledge economy now men can't find a way. If you really want to bring about harmony between the genders, that would concern you. You'd be like, I don't want to see that. I don't want the table to now be flipped because then that wouldn't benefit any of us. But if you're not really interested in parity, then that wouldn't bother you. And we unfortunately let those people shout the loudest. People who some people don't want to stop up and just want to vent. They just want to vent. They just want to, talk about them issues and who hurt them and what them vexed about and what them, and they pretend to be coming to the table to want to talk about justice and equality. But they're not. They're not. And so that's one of the biggest problems we have. And we can't get these people out of the conversation. We keep letting them, because people like that are the ones who we then end up arguing with.
Yeah, and then I think what happens now is women, when people like that run to the front to talk, most of the time is because the other woman sometimes not brave enough to talk.
Right, yes.
And they're just happy somebody talking.
Yes. And talking about so many things that they agree with, yes.
Yeah, so many things would be right and they don't want to go up against this person because this person is clearly very vocal. So they just leave them.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I mean, it happens with politics too, with the left and the right.
Yes.
Yes. So many things you agree with, and then they go extreme and you're like, oh God, we done kind of put this person or had this person on a pedestal already, so we can't pull them down now.
And then, because if you start to talk against them, then you become labeled a traitor or whatever. So you end up with people like her and Andrew Tate on the next side, and who could benefit from that?
Yeah.
You understand? So that's one of the biggest. I don't know how we solve it. I don't know how we get these clowns.
I think what make it really actually what make it worse is social media, because when you think about, like, when I see people talking about the dynamics of their relationships and how a relationship should be, I'm not saying I have a perfect relationship, right? It perfect to me, at least. Somebody looking from the outside probably wouldn't find it.
I don't think it's perfect to you, but it's workable to you. It's you like it.
Well, boy,
it works for you.
Right now, as it is, I could say perfect for me.
You think perfection in a relationship is attainable?
Well, for me, as
perfection,
I say, for me, it suits me right.
I still don't feel you mean perfect, but fine. I get
right. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's because obviously I'm in it knowing that they're going to have flaws. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So it's not like perfect without flaws.
But that's what perfect means. It means without flaws.
No. What I say is perfect to me because it have the right amount of flaws, the right amount. You understand what I'm saying?
All right, but go ahead.
That is why I say perfect to me.
Make a bigger point.
Right? And what you would realize is that on this level, on the ground level and the personal interaction level, it's not as bad as a lot of people try to make it out to be.
Yeah.
But when you
Not for everybody, actually.
not for everybody, yeah. Right? But when you see these things on social media, you see things in the news, you see these things. But so many people find ways to cope and finding ways to just deal with things and live on. Because, I mean, people go talk about, and I really want to get into that, But, people go talk about like the pay gap and them kind of things. And I have a cousin tell me shit. She's like, horse, in Trinidad, the women are the boss bitches. A lot of the women make more money in Trinidad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I know you're talking about pay gap and you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, to be fair, the gender pay gap thing doesn't get many legs down here.
No, but I mean, you feel people here ain't going to talk about it. People here just talk about it. And that people here...
Well, they parrot what they hear.
Yeah, right.
Right. They parrot,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They don't have any statistics to back that. I don't know if they've ever... local statistics, at least, But you're right in the sense that, a lot of these things... When I see plenty of these like red pill guys talking, the men like Andrew Tate and others, I just be like, I don't know, where these women always become talking about like, now I know to some extent, they always say, listen, we talking about a certain type of woman, a pin-up model, the type of woman that is looking for a high value man or whatever. Okay, fine, whatever. But I mean, throughout my life, they make it seem like this is how interactions between men and women fundamentally are. I'm like, I never went through none of that shit you talking about. Like, I don't know what you mean. Like, I don't feel like, at no point in time I ever felt like, if I wasn't driving a particular car, then I would get no birds, or at least no birds I liked. You know what I mean? Like, I never felt like that was the case. Now, okay, I was never trying to get, what's this girl name? Oh God, the one who's be all over local Instagram now.
Oh, I don't get happening there.
Oh God, kind of the original one of them, the Riri girl.
Oh, Star girl.
Yeah. So, okay, I probably ain't trying to pull birds like that. Well, not probably. I've never tried to pull birds like that. But I mean, who does the average person? Is that what the average person is out here looking at for an ideal relationship? No. So,
is she even suitable for ideal relationship?
Not my business.
Right, well, we don't know, but I just say
exactly.
But that's the reality.
Exactly. And I ain't trying to cast any aspersions on her, but people would probably say that is the kind of bird that you need to be pushing, a S-class or whatever. Okay, and that's fine. Yeah, but how many birds like that are there out there? Is that the average person's interaction? No, it's not. So these red pill guys be talking about things. I just don't feel, but they suck in so many young men.
They have a name this called, I forget this called.
What do you mean?
They have a particular term they call them fellas.
The ones who they're sucking?
Yeah.
Not incels?
Yeah, incels.
No, well, not necessarily. Incels are the ones who've given up. Incels are the ones who've said, nah, we not on trying to find woman, right? Woman is the devil. We want no part of that. We could just sit down and watch porn. And the most they might do is pay for prostitutes. That's their ideology. But
I guess the thing is, people must be saying they were incels and now the red pill people come like the hope now, boy. They light in the tunnel.
Right, okay.
We go teach all. They come and buy our, a program or whatever it is.
Yeah. So maybe that's the case. Maybe that's who this draw. But they suck. I know because there's so many people I find like, many people be sending me these things. I just like, oh God, why are they making relationships into maths, dog? Like, I don't understand all this maths all they're talking. Now, I will be on, obviously, you and I have, well, especially me, I've been off of the dating, out the dating world for a gazillion years. And maybe if I try to jump back in the dating game now, it might be completely different. So I always say that I'm not sure. Maybe it's different out there, but I find always be putting real maths into this thing. I've never found interacting with females to be as transactional as all you're putting it. I've never found, and okay, I even look around me and I know real regular dudes who've, had girls that they liked and had relationships easily and, so and then on the other side, you see the woman who's be complaining about these ton of waste man and it's like, where does find these man? Like, where are you shopping? Like, where are you? Because I don't know them kind of man. Now, I could understand, finding man with economic issues because everybody have economic issues these days. But the kinds of things as we hear in them, talking about, again, stop making your reality into the reality. That's what you've gone through. And that's probably because you fishing in some kind of jackass pool.
And probably because I heavily believe that a lot of times what they attract comes from the inside.
Yeah, right.
If there's something in you that does attract us as a type of person.
Right, true, correct. Yeah,
right?
Correct, yeah.
So, I think, if you keep attracting waste, man, check yourself,
yeah, bro, yeah.
Or if it's attracting waste girl, check yourself, bridging.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I had some waste girl in my time too, and I realized, dog, it had to be something in you here now.
Yeah.
I tell people this story. I was a bird from Diego Martin, and then I said, boy, no, I just saying, right? And I thought one of the things to change the dynamic, I went to that girl from Mayarona, boy.
Right.
Because they had to be different, right? It had to be two different people.
Right.
And the outcome was pretty similar, right?
Because
I was attracting a particular type of person.
Yeah.
I was putting out a particular energy
that
was bringing out a particular type of person.
Yeah.
And then I realized, hey, boy, dog, boy.
You had to stop putting out that energy.
You had to stop putting out that energy.
Yeah.
And you had to take some time, do some introspection, and all right, let me see what this be doing, boy. Someone saying, what up putting out there? And you had to do that.
Yeah.
But women don't want to fucking do that.
People don't want to do that.
Well, plenty of women. Women do like take accountability plenty of the time.
Well, because they're not encouraged to in our society.
Right.
Women are encouraged. Women are. I tell you this, the conflicting messages that are given to young women. I don't envy them, bro. Because they, on one hand, they're being told they're strong and powerful, but then on the other hand, they're being told they're kind of like, they're fragile beings, and if you say certain things, it's gonna offend. On the one hand, you are just like you're just as strong and emotionally stable as a man. But then, if you're put in a workplace, men can't make the same jokes they will make with their brethren around you. So what are you? Are you a precious little doll, or are you a warrior queen? You can't be two at the same time. You know what I mean? But that's part of how society, removes accountability from women.
I think, to be fair and to wrap it up, I think that is what society is today. You could be where you want, how you want, whenever you want it. If today you feel like a warrior, you be like a warrior. And if tomorrow you feel like you're a dolly princess kind of thing, it's that. If today you feel like a man, you're a man. If tomorrow you feel like a woman, you're a woman. You understand? That's where society takes us today. It's just we want to, how you feel on any given day, use that.
I understand that's why women operate the way they operate, because they are constantly they are coddled by society and not allowed to face accountability, and that's why they're like that. And in terms of because I used to sit down and say to myself, I don't have no huge circle of friends, right? But of the circle, very small circle of very close friends, and then extended acquaintances. So many of us are married, and as far as I'm aware, happily. You know what I mean? So is it that hard to find, good man and good woman out there?
I don't think it's that. I don't know. I interact with a lot of women on a regular basis because I'm here and my wife is there with her clients, so everything gets me. And apparently they really like to talk to me and get my perspective, man perspective, whatever. And I don't think it's that hard. I honestly don't think it's that hard. I think sometimes people might have some expectations that could be a bit unreal. Some like what Kevin Samuels used to talk about, what women want men with. Because it's a thing in China, about it. A trend where a woman, they say they want $10,000 man. A man had to be making $10,000.
Yeah.
Or more now, boy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what's the percentage of men who's make $10,000 or more in Trinidad. I would think is probably less than 20% of the men in Trinidad and Tobago. I would think. You wouldn't think so?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'd probably say so, yeah.
And so if all you wonder how that gonna work out, right? And is it that if your man is working for $7,000 a month, he can't love you?
Well, listen, I feel we gotta split this episode into two parts, because I think this had to get fleshed out. We can't stop this now, right? But I think one of the things we have to recognize with women, with modern women, and understand why their psyche has become the way it is that women for a very long time were very dependent on men. And what that meant was that women did a lot of settling and men didn't know or care.
Right.
And that's what they were doing. Because, from the very early days of man, a woman needed a man for everything, for protection, for, to eat. Because, women weren't equipped physically to go and do the hunting and whatever, right? And if a man was not wrong, it wouldn't take long for the next man to come in the cave, rape you, kill your children, do whatever, right? So women were bred to be nurturers and men to be the hunters gatherers. Even when we formed civil society and men, were able to, they were socialized and it wasn't just a knock you on your head with a rock and drag in a cave. And we had protection came from the form of the government in the form of police and that kind of thing. We still needed, women were still dependent on men for economic purposes because women weren't in the workplace in the way that they were. So for many, many years, women were incentivized to settle.
Right.
Because, they needed a man so they couldn't afford to be choosy. What the issue is now is that women are saying to themselves, why should I settle? Because I don't need you for money.
Right.
Right? I could make my own money and I could sort out myself. Right? I don't need you for protection. And to be fair, a woman never really has a problem scratching an itch. The physical need. Yeah. Right? And even if she doesn't even want to do it with another man, with a human being, she could, all kind of toys out there. So a woman is saying, why should I settle? Why should I bring somebody into my life who is not sweeping me off my feet then? I could just stay single.
Yeah, but the thing is, most of the time, they don't talk about being swept off their feet though. Most of the time they bring up the financial aspect
Well,
first.
I mean, yeah, but some of them will say that, but that might be an aspect of it, but the point that they make it, but what they mean in general is the total package had to be on point, right? And
once again, there's a high possibility that that I don't want to say that don't exist, or it's a very minute
set. Right, but what they're doing, no, ultimately I think it will lead to them becoming frustrated because over time, they would realize that companionship is very important and loneliness will start to hit you, bitterness will hit you in your older age. But the point is, when they're young, they think, okay, yes, might be a small percentage, but they don't care. In other words, if they will wait till they get it.
But that's not what they do. Plenty times what is end up happening, they go with a man they perceive to have some of the qualities that they want and they'll get duped. You understand what I'm saying? Because a man might be driving a Benz. Right? And you say, well, you have a Benz, you have money. And then they go with the man, and then you just say, you realize every bushing in the Benz bad. Because he had no money to fix the Benz. Or he driving a Benz, and so you think he have money, so he hit your shot and you're not going to hit me nothing until Montana, boy, or whatever. And then he lend him money, and then it's bad. So he beat you out a couple times. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but that's the risk they run. That is the risk they run.
Right? And I think it's because, and I understand your point where you don't have to settle, but just have normal conversations with people.
Yeah, but now look, ultimately, the point I'm trying to make is that I can make, I was talking to a brethren of mine, and, we were talking about the same thing. And, he was saying he ain't picky, he ain't this. And I was kind of pointing out, but because I know there's a bird who was wrong at a point in time. Whoever went over that, yeah, but she overweight, dog. I'm not so picky, but I can't. No, she wasn't even that big, right? But I just can't stand up for that. So they're saying the same thing. Like, yeah, you want me talk to a nice guy, but he just don't do it for me.
No, my thing is, so many times, because my thing is, I'm not saying go with somebody who you talk to and they might be a nice person without money. But have some of them, if you don't have certain things, they're not even entertaining the conversation at all. And sometimes it might be a situation where, okay, I might be driving a Benz, but I own my own home. If you understand what I'm saying.
Right. Well, I mean, to be fair, I think somebody kind of gives you talking about, I don't know how much. Okay, I think any girl who can recognize that, owning your own home is far more.
But I saying they might even reach a conversation to find out that person owning their own home, because he's driving he driving an Almera or he driving a, like, I want to call a car that could be a bandit car. But he driving a Fielder, right?
Like me.
Right. Yeah, he driving a Fielder, like you.
Yeah.
And you see the fella driving a Fielder, whatever the case may be, he might have one of them kind of unconventional jobs, right? So he in no shirt and tie, right? He making the money, dog. And this nigga is building a mansion. Or he probably have a mansion built or whatever. Or he building a mansion still, right? He buy land and he build anything piece by piece, whatever the case may be. And he see and hey,
yeah, but but just now, what would the only thing that would stop a woman from being attracted to him, or a woman with those standards, is if he has no swag. So they're not say what you're pointing to the money, but that's, I mean, and even if they vocalize that, that's not what they really mean. What they mean is you must attract me with the way that you look, right? And the thing is, you can't make a woman attracted to a man who has no drip, because I telling you, a man with drip who driving a Fielder will still catch the eye of many of those girls. Right. And okay, it might take a upper crust one now to look beyond the swag or the drip and the car to recognize, hey, you really financially stable. But half of them birds out here, like, who would talk things like 10,000 club, they will see a man in a Fielder, but once he has drip, they will. And drip doesn't even necessarily mean they have to be wearing the most expensive clothes, but they have to present themselves in a particular way. I think a man like that would easily get through, even if they're driving a Fielder. But the problem is, you want them to look at what they would call a lame looking fella who driving a Fielder, but he have a big house.
No, I wouldn't say a lame looking. I mean, at the end of the day, it still have to be attractive, physically attractive to a woman, right?
No, but it might have nothing to do with your physical, you know. It will just be the way you present yourself. If you have zero drip, they would not be interested. And it's the drip that that's what they really mean when they're talking about the money. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't think that there are many men out here who would walk around like they have money, or not trying to look super rich, but have drip, who wouldn't attract them same birds you're talking about.
But then, so what going with people like Mark Zuckerberg and them fellas, and Jeff Bezos, because them fellas clearly.
Well, Jeff Bezos had drip now.
Yeah, no,
he did not drip when he had the first wife, right? But obviously, because the reality is that not all women are like that. That's the first thing you need to point out.
And the real girls probably think, wait, damn boy, I miss my mark here.
No, because I mean, think about it. Is your wife like that?
Nah. My
wife isn't like that. I've never dated a woman like that. No woman like that has ever been interested in me that I could think of, right? And you woman, you was in the DJ thing, so you might have some people might have come for that kind of vibe. But, you know, again, there's so many people I know who are in, you know, stable relationships, as far as I'm aware. They ain't like that. And another thing I think is a problem is that all of this would be eliminated if people found love young and stuck with it. But the problem people have it, because for instance, dog, if you meet your wife when he's 19, 20, 21, 22, none of this factors in, because none of them making no money.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? None of them making no money. And the thing that the thing that I have found is that most of the people that I know in long-term relationships now were people who found their significant other when they were young, right? And so they formed peer bonds when none of this bullshit mattered. You know, if you're a woman and if you focus on your career and this and that, and then you wait till you're 30 to now go out there looking to, well, now you studying, well, he had to have a car, and this and all. Well, and that now complicates the issue. But if you found a husband or a boyfriend in university when both of them was eating ramen noodles or whatever, none of that shit would matter. And so, and they would probably be together, and even if you go to have more money, it doesn't matter because you all formed up a bond early. So all of that is in the mix. A lot of these people are foregoing love or thinking that their 20s is time to mix and mingle and bowl down the place, and you know what I mean? And then they're looking for the settle down now when they reach 29, 30, and now they have all those hang-ups that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I think also, to the point you were making, if people also start back socializing like normal people and not just on social media and them kind of things, I think that would help significantly. Right? Because plenty of people judging it from your pictures now.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And judging it from Yes, what you present on
right?
social media.
And of course, we have men.
Your lifestyles.
It have men who will drive the partner car, and every time they drive the partner car, they will post a video inside the car. You understand what I'm saying? And put it on social media, right? I'm the virgin.
Nothing.
Right? Or they will post the partner car, and then it has some men who, when they go boat ride, they'll take out the bottle of Johnny Walker from the box. But first of all, 6 of them pop or 10 of them pop to buy the bottle.
And they all hold the bottle individually for the
individually picture. And individual shots.
And
you see that picture, yeah, bro, them fellas drinking, them fellas have money, them fellas
balling.
Yeah.
Or that whole squad come out with Johnny.
Right?
An individual bottle of Johnny.
Yeah. So and then
Henny.
And it's pretty easy to get caught up in them thing. I know that a squad dog that used to party, and them fellas then used to chip up to buy clothes. So what will happen is You
go away this time. I go away next time. To be honest, I remember the other squad that when I was young, I found out used to do that. I was like, why we didn't think of that when he's younger? I wish I think of that when I was like 16, 17, and he's going nuts every week. And I'm like, yeah, boy, that make that whole thing much easier.
I was never the same size with anybody I was lining with.
Well, no, but back then it was 5XL clothes. Everybody was wearing 5XL. Everybody was wearing 5XL, so it didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. I could have wear the same jersey that my brethren was wearing, and he's like 3 inches shorter than me, and it would not matter because it could reach him here and it could reach me by my elbow. it don't matter. No, you can't do that. Yeah. Now that everybody wearing tapered clothes, you can't do that. But back then, dog, everything was. The only thing I mightn't be able to borrow is pants. Nah, and shoes, boy. Shoes were always. My foot was big. My foot was always bigger than every. I never had nobody wearing size 13 in my squad, so shoes would be a problem. But you see thing like vest and any jersey and thing, yeah, that would have been that would have been core set.
You know, and so the thing is, if you watch pictures and you build in your mind wherever you think about this person. And I think sometimes that was lead to some disappointment as well.
Yeah.
You know, in your mind, you have... Because I think that's really happened to people. They just build up this thing in their mind. I want to look the shot on this now because the camera might run out the camera run out of space. People just build up a thing in their mind from what they see on social media of the person.
Yeah.
You know, and even when they reach in a situation... Like, they doesn't just try to, okay, let me start from scratch now. Inside, let me see. Yeah. And there's whole line in the mind now, boy.
Yeah. And I mean, it's part and parcel of meeting people like that. Where, you know, if when you meet people organically, you get a sense of them right then and there in front of you. But if the way to catch birds now is to make your social media look as stunting as possible, you know, and that's what the girl, you know, that's what the first glimpse she gets that attracts her. Then yeah, she's gonna hold on to that. She's gonna hold on to that when she come and meet you because she is now. That's what catch her. It wasn't you in real life, you know. It wasn't you walking in the door and she could just, you know, feel your energy, your charisma.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because she has seen you on IG and on social media, and she's formulated an idea of who you are.
Yeah, she thinks she knows.
Yeah, you know what I mean? She from your quotes, from your this, from your wherever, she thinks she know you. So she can't let go down when she come to meet you. So that's why we had to put on them fucking phone. I fell up telling that, but you
I met my wife through social media, but I would be very honest, is only until I met her in person. I mean, everything was just on zero for me, right? I mean,
hey, just now, by the way, before you think, I don't know. I was my Catherine Ann, who is my wife for those who don't know. She quotes on me today for calling her. She tell me don't call her my wife. Don't say my wife in the podcast. It is song impersonal. You understand that? Because it only now occurred to me that wait, you have been saying it. I've been saying it. I don't understand. You understand?
So you need to say Katrin and my wife, or because if it keeps saying Katrin and it never said Katrin as your wife, people will be like,
that's what I'm trying to explain.
Especially if you fall into the podcast in the later half, right? And he was talking about Katrin.
Because exactly, that's what I'm trying to explain to. I'm not calling you my wife when I'm talking to Naldo or talking to other friends or wherever. I'm talking about people who don't know you. Talking to people who don't know you. So why would I keep saying your name? They don't know who you are. But anyway, I just found that hilarious, and I don't remember as you said it there just now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think the point I was making is that back then I was wild. I was real wild. You understand? So you couldn't catch me with social media thing. I already DJ and I'm meeting girls right through. So even I meet you on social media, until I meet you and vibes with you and whatever.
Yeah.
That is when it really Makes
off.
sense to me now,
Yeah,
boy.
yeah.
I not holding nothing. I see. And then also I knew now, boy. I knew because I knew a lot of people who was
Faking.
flexing on social media
Faking.
and always want money borrow or what drop or what where you send a phone card. I knew real girls like that now.
Yeah.
Like I've heard it all. My daughter had to go to school, need money. I've heard it all. I heard it all. Need money to pay electricity bill. I've heard it all. Right? So I knew that. So that never catch me now. But I see her, I find it look good. But I had to meet you. Yeah. The vibes and I had to kind of feel you out over a period of time. You know, so, but I mean, that is the important thing. What you see on social media, don't set your mind on that. Go out and meet people and get to understand the people, the situation, the circumstances, whatever. See if it can link up and match up with yours. Yeah. And I think that's the important thing. Yeah. And don't let people set no arbitrary standards for you and your life and your relationships.
Yeah, and when they find love young, I know encouraging people to hitch up with people they don't like, but I telling you, when you find a person, your vibes with, don't take no chin up from the body about your 20s is to go out and play yourself and
we will debate that next time, and I feel our men like Akiman thing on board when we had that discussion. Some of the young boys who out there, right? Yeah. But I disagree with that though. I disagree with that. I mean, if you find love at a young age, hold on to it. But if you don't find it, play yourself. That is my opinion. But
I don't encourage you to hitch up with people who you're not suitable with, And if you ain't find nobody that you're really bond with, then.
But last time we got to discuss it. We got to figure around that time. But I also don't want people to go there and look for love too young now, or go there with that the main goal now. We got to talk about that next time. But hey, thanks again for viewing. Thanks again for listening. It's the App 868, the Alternative Perspectives podcast. All right.
We were
split it from the
emancipate the.
Nah, we split it from the thing with the girl.
No, I was saying when you stop talking about the black thing, black people think,
So if you're hearing this, because it was split on it, so if you're hearing this part and you hear the first part, go and look for the first part.
Right.
Yeah. But they'll come out in close succession. So we out.